It's Jose.
Hey, Jose. Jason Saulnier here.
Hey, what's up, Jason?
Not much. So what you been up to these days with a Metallica, mandatory Metallica? Yeah, and...
So mandatory Metallica. Well, I mean, it's tough. It's tough as someone that's been in charge of the channel since its birth and having been on the air since before we even launched and became national. It's tough. It's like a drug. You know, you get it taken away, and all of a sudden you're like having withdrawals, and it's tough. It was emotional. I think it was definitely personal. I felt bad for the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails and angry subscribers, and it hurt my heart to do that to them. But it wasn't at all anything close to being my decision. I actually wanted it to be, not on the channel, or and if it was going to be on the channel, to be different. But it wasn't, and they kept they did what they basically did in September when XM had mandatory Metallica. They pretty much just did the same thing. So, yeah, man, it's I guess I have to look at it in a positive way and think that there's only almost 2 weeks left. Mm-hmm. So that's how I have to look at it, and it's one of those things like what Cinderella's saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone type of thing. And
yeah.
People are really angry, and people have canceled their subscriptions. People have
really,
yeah, man. So I mean, but mostly what we tried to do was just to say, hey, stick with us, guys. Please, it'll be back in a month. We'll be coming back swinging. So just stick with us, man. And so I think we made people feel good by being honest with them. But at the same time, it's tough, man. It really is. It's still, it's hard for me to, I kind of find myself not knowing what to listen to sometimes. So it's always just easy to put on, the metal channel. I always call it Heart Attack. I don't call it Liquid Metal. It's hard.
Yeah, what's up with that? Why did it change?
Horribly gay name. It sounds like a Chinese laxative, which is one of my favorite emails that came in when we first changed the name. I love that. It happened on November 12th, man. Wednesday, November 12th, 2008. We changed from Heart Attack to Liquid Metal, and we also doubled our listeners.
Okay.
So, you get a good and a bad thing, Good, also that we kept our jobs, and my staff and everybody came over to the All-Star team. But, it was really tough losing that name that's been a war cry and one of my daughter's first words, So that was real tough and emotional. Still is, man. So
you're saying that there's a lot of people angry because it's Metallica taking over Liquid Metal. I can't imagine people being that angry. Is it because you guys play a Hero of the Day and stuff like that, or
There's everything from Metallica. Yeah, they're not. I'm not in charge of it, so I mean, I don't know what the philosophy is, but I know it's everything, and I know it is Hero of the Day. It's low man lyrics. It's Prince Charming. It's a lot of stuff that I'm like I can really do without. But yeah, I'm different. I'm someone that's so connected to a certain metal station, and more so than anybody in the world. So it's, you're asking the closest dude to it. And I'm a huge Metallica fan, but I don't want to hear 24/7 of any band. People want variety. Bottom line, people want variety, especially when for North America it's only all metal 24/7 station, commercial metal station. Commercial, I mean, as in, big and powerful, but not commercial in the sense we play commercials. It's but I love it, and people are complaining. People are listening too. Obviously, people that aren't metal fans, that are Metallica fans, they're probably listening to other channels on Sirius most of the time. But now with Mandatory Metallica, people are coming over and listening to it that never listened to the channel number before. So yeah, I mean, there's people listening and people enjoying it. I'm sure. I think I got about 400 emails. One of them was actually positive. Okay. One.
Wow.
Was positive. But, people, you can do a whole philosophical thing and say people that email are always negative anyways. Well, whatever. That's not the case, because I've seen, thousands that have come in over the years that have been extremely positive. And so, but people will say, well, only people that are negative email, that are angry. That's not true. But people will try to tell you that. But I know it differently.
Well, I think it's great, and you're doing a super job what you're doing. And
well, thank you, man. Yeah. It's an honor. It's an honor to be doing this, bro.
I mean, you're funny on the air when you're talking to these people and the bands. It's great.
Oh,
and are you actually having that much fun?
I actually don't think before I speak, and that a lot of times gets me in trouble, man. But no, it's thank you. I do. It's all, dude. I've been in love with this music since kindergarten, and to be able to influence other rock fans out there and guide them to in like throughout the world of metal, it's a huge deal, a huge responsibility, and one that I fully accept and realize what is there. Not someone that takes advantage of it and tries to do things for personal reasons. I do it because I love it. Mm-hmm. So I guess it is personal because I love it so much. And certain bands that are supported and played more often are because they're either just really, really good and cool. So it makes a difference. If there's a band that's really good but there's a bunch of dickheads, then I'm like, we still play them, but maybe not as often as the other bands that are more loved, by everybody and give love back. So it's, but a lot of bands that we support, we've been supporting forever, and have never, whether they're selling more or less, our love is still the same, our support is still the same. So, fans, after a while realize that, and they do. I want to make people excited when they're listening to the radio. I want to make people excited to hear the next song. I want to make people excited to keep listening. I want people to tell their friends about, the music, the specials, the DJs, whatever it is. I want people to talk about it. Right. That's the best way to do it, is when you're smoking a joint, drinking beers with your friends on a Friday night. You're like, dude, did you hear the new Chimera, man? I heard it on fucking Liquid Metal, man. No way. Yeah, I also heard the new, whatever. It's like, fucking hey, people are listening and talking about it. And then they'll go out and buy the CDs, and they'll go out and go to the shows and go check out the local bands that are opening for, that Chimera show or whatever it is. And it's a whole well-oiled machine,
So, Jose here, going to your past, what took you from becoming a pharmacy man to a metal director?
Well, I've always, before I was pharmacy, major and graduate student, I was always metal since kindergarten. So when I was in high school, getting in trouble a lot for whatever reasons, but I always did pretty well. But it was my junior year in high school where I decided to really excel in school, in grades, academics, and to get out of my little tiny drug town and to try to make something. And if it wasn't going to be playing in a band or being, back when I was in junior high, I always told people, and for my whole life, that I wanted to be the host of Headbangers Ball. So things like that. I mean, I wasn't going to just do from working at Walmart and smoking weed. I needed to get out of my town, and we had no money, so academics was the only way to do it, really. So I just I just decided this is easy if you study, and I just excelled at school, tried my hardest, did my best, and got scholarships. And I loved the science world and chemistry, and I really was fascinated by the medicine and herbal remedies. Also, just the fact how you can heal with the mind, body, and soul. A lot with witch doctors do, with what they call in Spanish curanderos. And for all the El Salvadorian listeners, the curanderos, man, I studied a lot of that, and I wanted to do something that stemmed from that. And really, I think a movie in high school that I was really drawn to, besides for the the dark voodoo evil part of it, but for the scientific part, was a movie called The Serpent and the Rainbow. I don't know if you remember that movie, but it was a movie about zombie powder and how it was a thing that was used a lot in Haiti and voodoo practices, and it can basically make somebody a zombie and people think they're actually dead. Their life signs are all done. But they bury these people, and then they wake up, a day or so later, buried alive, and try crawling out of the graves and things like that. I just thought that was like amazing. I was like, wow, So I think that movie was a movie that really was one of the first things that implanted the toxicology, pharmacology side of things into my brain, and I was always a chemistry fan. So I went to school, University of Arizona, chemistry major. Went to University of Tennessee. In Memphis at the college of pharmacy there, and after I worked in college radio my whole time in undergrad, and when I got to Memphis, I got a job at the big rock station there, and started DJing on weekends and working in the promotions department, and still going to pharmacy school. And one thing led to another where I started getting recognized in industry magazines for what I was doing for the Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi area, that tri-state area, and with my metal radio show that I started there, and it just kind of snowballed from there. I got offers to work in New York and LA at record labels, and I was like, but I'm still going to pharmacy school. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just thought about it, and I decided to make a decision, a life-changing decision to move to New York to work for a record label and to try my hand at the music game. So that's really what happened. But if it wasn't for schooling and trying to excel in pharmacy and in science and tutoring high school kids while I was in college in the sciences, all that stuff led me to doing what I'm doing today.
Mm-hmm.
And all that makes me like when I first met my bosses here, they were like, "You did what? You did what?" I wasn't just some punk kid that grew up playing guitar in a rock band on the Jersey Shore. We were very poor. And, I didn't go to no communication school or anything. I just always loved metal and always talked about it and always wanted to preach it and tell everybody about it since I was a little kid. So that's where that came from. So I had no training at all, just from being on air all those years in college radio for 4 years and commercial for a year, 2 years in commercial radio. So that's where it came from, man.
Mm-hmm.
Long story, I know, but fuck.
Wow. So I'm so happy that you got what you wanted in life, which is rock and metal.
Yeah, no, I'm very, dude. I say it all the time. I'm very blessed and very lucky to be doing what I'm doing. I want to show that on the radio too by saying thank you all the time, and
mm-hmm.
just by saying that I know I'm lucky. I'm not going to be someone that says, "Yeah, I'm badass, fuck you." I'm not like that. Never. I want to include everybody. I want to make everybody cool. I like to talk to one person on the radio and thank everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it is, man, I want to make people happy with this music and with their decision to have Sirius XM.
So you've been with them since the
Over
year
9
2000.
years.
So 9 years, yeah. So you just all of a sudden go to this satellite radio company and that's it?
Well, I had an interview and they wanted to. I didn't really know what I was coming here for. I heard that they had a 24/7 metal channel.
Okay.
And I wanted to come here, and I got in and helped build the channel. That and other rock channels throughout the years, and the alternative Spanish rock channel that was around in the very beginning. And so I was brought on to help build the channels from the very beginning. So it was years before we were even on the air. It was just building the structure, building the infrastructure, everything. Launching the satellites, all that shit, man. It was a lot of work. Engineering, testing the service, everything.
You've got lots of picks with famous musicians. Who's a musician you didn't meet yet that, you need to meet?
I've been very lucky, man.
Because you probably met them all, huh?
Pretty much every single band that I love. And every artist that I've idolized. And I'm lucky to call some of my favorite musicians of my life friends of mine. And which is fucking weird, from Max Cavalera to Vinnie Paul. I mean, these people are close to me, and I have a lot of respect and adoration for those guys, and we're friends, and
mm-hmm.
we call each other, hang out, whatever it is. It's weird. But I think it was recently. I think Sebastian Bach was one that I didn't meet, but like a year and a half ago I did. He was one of my favorites that I hadn't met yet. But I mean, shit, man. I mean, I've been fortunate to meet every single band that I've always cared about. Ricky Rackman was somebody in my life that I didn't meet up until in October. I met him last year, but he was somebody that was very influential to my life, and someone that I had a lot of just love for, because he set me on a path, and I never met him until last year. So he was one of the last pieces of the puzzle. He was the last piece of my life's puzzle. But I met everybody, dude. Every band that I can think of, from Sabbath to Metallica to anybody, man, and everybody, all those bands that I loved so much. So, I wish I could spend more time with Dimebag Darrell, obviously,
well, yeah.
But I met him when I was 16 years old, and changed my life, man. So, But I've met everybody, man, from Cheech and Chong to all my idols, man.
Cool. I
haven't met MacGyver yet, so that's one guy I haven't not met. So
out of the music scene.
Yeah.
Do you meet Mario Brink of In This Moment, and you got to play with In This Moment, correct?
Yes.
From what I saw in the video.
Yes. In This Moment are close friends of mine. We were their biggest supporters and have been their biggest supporters on the radio in the world.
Right.
And I think they're a super talented band. They have a lot to offer, not just for the rock world, but for all sorts. Maria's a very talented vocalist, a great woman, and a great mom, everything. And she's just a girl that's really cool to hang out with. They asked me to sing Pantera Unbroken with them on a Fuse TV show called Talking Metal, and she called me the morning of. And I said, of course, what time? She was like, 2 o'clock, I'll be there. And that's how it happened. It was just pretty spontaneous, and she trying to practice the lyrics and realized that she couldn't really do it all herself, that she needed somebody to help. And the guys, Chris and Jeff, were like, Jeff were like, I'm not going to do it. So then that's when she called me. She were like, ask Jose. So, but they do a lot of stuff for me. We just recently did a fashion show that was like a metal influenced fashion show for this new clothing line called Metal Couture, and they did an acoustic set for us, 5 songs exclusive, the whole band performing, and it was the first time they ever did that, and they did that just because I asked them to.
Cool.
No money, nothing. It was just, I was like, hey guys, can you do this favor for me? I'm hosting this event. They were like, sure. You know, they had a day off. They took their bus to, Chinatown, New York City, and parked it there and played that night, man. So they're very close friends. I love them a lot, man. So they deserve a lot of attention, and they will be. They'll get better and better, and they'll get more and more attention.
Like I said, I talked to Chris Howard, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months ago, and I told them you guys got the sound of the future.
So they're good. They're gonna get a lot more coming to them.
Yes,
good stuff.
I hope so. Well,
yeah.
Well, Jose, I've probably taken enough of your sweet, valuable time.
Well, that was cool. Don't worry, it was easy, man.
No, you're a cool dude, and you keep on doing a great job on Sirius XM.
Thank you, man. I have a good time. Thank you for listening, man. Fucking, that's awesome. Canadians, man, rocking out with the horns, dude. Loving it.
Oh, I listen to you all the time when I can, except right
that's
now I ain't hearing you because it's Metallica.
Yeah, I know. Well, that gives me time to do shit like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, too, and I'm sure all the El Salvador listeners are appreciating it right now.
Hell yeah, man. El Salvador, ¿qué pasó? You know?